Hello, hello. I'm Therese Bowers, a cannabis wellness coach in the beautiful Kootenays of BC. And I am very excited today to interview Kim Sarsons. She's from Calgary, Alberta. She is an author of an amazing brand new book called Midlife, oh dear, Midlife Magic. And it is a cannabis companion for women seeking self-care for the real world. And I really enjoyed reading this book about midlife and cannabis, and thought I wanted to just talk more about Kim, talk more to Kim about her story. And so I'm excited to share with you, Kim. So welcome, Kim. And yeah, I'm so glad we could chat more.
Thank you. It's exciting to be here. I'm a little nervous, to be honest, but we'll just go with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Hearing my name attached to the word author is very new for me. So it's like I'm taking this in and going, yeah, they do go together now. They actually do. So
yeah, it's a new role, a new title.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What,
and persona too that comes with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Well, I want to hear a little more about your health story. And it sounded like quite the ordeal for you. And so can you tell us a little bit more about that, about your experience and your health and wellness, and how it got to be where you are?
Yeah, so I'll try to encapsulate it as much as I can, but it all starts with me being a very busy woman, like many of us are, working full-time as a school teacher, being a single mom, and doing all the things, and very rarely having time for myself. And I think this is a common story these days. We hear more and more about the importance of taking time for self-care, and that's why it's in the title of the book. But it's something that just was not part of my repertoire. I didn't really think about it. I was always generally healthy. I never had weight issues. I always had good physical coordination and strength and flexibility and all of that. So I didn't have to work really hard at staying healthy. I was just by nature very fortunate. But what that does at the same time is it can make you a little bit complacent. And when things got really busy, it was about 5 years ago. I just wrapped up my master's degree and a whole lot of other things, but my body started to communicate that something was wrong, and I had a very hard time interpreting the message. And I opted to keep working instead of pursuing appropriate medical support. And this was by nature of my job. It was June, it was report card season. I was thinking, no one else can do this job. I'm the only one that can do this. And so I was on heavy duty pain killers and just showing up every day until a colleague of mine, once school wrapped up and we were on our last organizational day, a colleague of mine said, Kim, this is not normal. Take yourself to the emergency room. And this was a foreign concept to me as well. I thought, you don't take yourself to the emergency room. Who does that? Like that just, it didn't compute, but I thought, yeah, she's totally right. Like, this is not normal. I've been living with this long enough. And I went in and I saw the emergency room doctor, who discovered that there was a mass. He found there was a mass on my left side by my left ovary. And so immediately, you think cancer, you think, the worst. And from there, I saw a gynecological specialist, and he said, we are getting you booked into hospital tomorrow, and you're having surgery the next day. And I thought I was going to have this mass removed. I was trying not to think about the worst. I packed very light. I thought it would be like a day surgery, go in, get this mass removed, come out and convalesce at home. But I woke up to discover that I had had a complete hysterectomy. I had had a bowel resection, and I had an ileostomy bag attached just right near where the pain had started. I had a ileostomy bag there, and just like 6 inches of staples. And I was like, good thing I was on heavy medication, because I was astounded by what had happened. And no real answer per se, except that I had a massive infection. And it started over there on that left side, and it went all the way across to the point where it took my appendix as well. So everything that had been touched by this infection, they removed. And I was in hospital for 3 weeks, and the what do you call it? The intravenous diet. And so my weight was dropping, and I was just getting weaker and weaker all the time, because I wasn't getting any nutrition really. And I could consume ice chips. That's the only thing that I could put in my mouth, was ice chips, because they didn't want anything going through my digestive tract. But after 3 weeks, and after learning how to work and live with the ostomy and how to change it and all of that, I got to go home. And you would think going home is a good thing. Well, in my case, going home was so challenging, because while the main infection was dealt with, the lower intestine was healing, my weight had dropped so much that I had it was an effort to go answer my front door, to get up. Like, I was very sedentary. I could hardly do the stairs. I couldn't go anywhere. I'm 6 feet tall, and I had dropped to 107 pounds at my lowest. And my doctors were saying things like, take more, just drink more protein shakes, and that should do it. So the weight was a huge problem, because what it did, I didn't have the abdominal strength, because I was healing I was healing from the surgery. And so I couldn't hold myself up. So I was leaning forward a lot, which put a lot of strain on my lower back. So I had this chronic back pain. The pain just from the surgery and recovering from that. The weight loss was so extreme that it was painful to sleep, to lie down. And so I bought a new mattress, hoping that would make things better, because I had generally had a more firm mattress. I thought I'm going to get a softer mattress, but that didn't help. Just everything was so hard. And so it made sleeping difficult. I had a level of anxiety like I'd never had before. The pain in my back, I had all of these problems, and I didn't take anything for any of it. I didn't take sleeping pills because I didn't want to. But at the same time, anything that I would have taken orally would have just come right through my system so fast. It wouldn't have had time to do anything. So what I ended up doing ultimately, and this was just probably maybe 3 weeks before my second surgery, which was going to remove the ostomy and reconnect my system and allow me to have my full digestive tract back. I was searching naturopaths and trying to find alternative approaches to getting what my body needed. And the solution I came to was intravenous vitamin therapy. Thought that's the answer. It's just going to go right in my system. And so I met with my naturopath for the first time, and she said, I'll put together this cocktail for you. And of course I had all the blood work and everything, and found out where my levels were at. And then she was able to essentially do a designer vitamin bag for me. And I would sit there and get the vitamins pumped in, and I would feel like a human again for a few days. And then I would have to go back. It didn't help with the weight, but it helped nourish me, because I'd been so malnourished for so long. So yeah, things started to come around back to normal after my reconnect, it's called. So the ostomy is gone. Living with that for 3 months was an ordeal. It was a marathon. It was nerve-wracking too, because it was complicated, and I didn't know for sure if it would be a long-term thing. I was told that it would be 3 months to heal, and thankfully my body worked in my favor. And yeah, so that is something long gone now. And my weight came back and I started to normalize again and get natural energy again. But I still had the back pain and I still had to work on my I still had to work just on my recovery. Like, who am I now? Because I saw myself as completely transformed when I was sick, like into somebody that I didn't recognize. So it was tough. Yeah.
So what was some of the most those lessons that you learned from your illness?
Going back to the very beginning, just the importance of prioritizing my own time and creating space for myself and having knowing what a more appropriate baseline is, because I think I kept my baseline of tolerance pretty low, like what I would tolerate from myself. Like I could give up things so easily. Like, no, I don't need that. No, I don't need to do that. No. Do you know what I mean? As opposed to, and then taking on a whole bunch of other things, like that constant, this can go in favor of that. And what I was favoring was more so everything else and never
Not yourself.
me. So I've put me
Yeah.
more central. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's a big one.
And then how did cannabis come into the story?
Well, I think it was all a matter of timing, because this all happened in 2016, 2017. The buzz about legalization was in the air because 2018 it arrived. And as it was getting closer and closer, I was like, I don't really know anything about this plant, and I think I'd like to know. So it was my curiosity. And then there were little breadcrumbs, magazine articles, posts on Instagram, different things, how the breadcrumbs find you. And as I experimented a little bit, like I made some gray market purchases online and things like that. Because that was I didn't think I had a condition that would warrant seeing a doctor and requesting a medical prescription. I didn't feel that I had that. I'd been through my ordeal. I was on the other side of it, and I didn't feel that I had anything. Though, by nature of my work, by being a teacher and just the general stresses of life, like when I did ultimately see a doctor and said, "Yeah, I'm a teacher," and I said, "Oh, okay, yeah, absolutely, I will prescribe. I have a lot of teachers in my care," so I was like, okay. But cannabis came in, general curiosity and wanting to be in the know with this new landscape coming, and thinking like maybe this could have helped me in some way, because I had previous experience with cannabis, but never on a therapeutic level. It was more recreational and taking the edge off a little bit, and I never put the two together, that it could have supported me with my sleep, and it could have supported me with my anxiety, and it could have supported me with the pain, and topicals, inhaling, because other medication wasn't going to work for me. Yeah. So all these things, and nobody mentioned it. No. Nobody said a word. No, it was nothing, zero. Yeah. So.
And how did that come together then, writing this book about your experiences and midlife and self-care and cannabis? How did that all come together?
So I ended up pursuing studies with the Cannabis Coaching Institute to become a cannabis coach. And I was getting more involved in the community and doing events for women, and working with Elementa. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Elementa.
Yes, I've seen them.
But being their circle leader here in Calgary, and networking and connecting with people, and getting certified with the Cannabis Coaching Institute and all of that. But it was very much another part of my life. Like I had my day job and my teacher role and all of that. And then I had this other side. And I had a very hard time reconciling the two. I felt very guilty that I was the teacher of other people's kids and I was a cannabis consumer using it for my well-being. And little would they even know that it helped me show up better. It helped me be more complete, be happier, be more stable, be better rested. So I was carrying this, I guess, an irrational fear about the whole thing, that like, what if people find out? What if
Yeah,
people find out?
this is stigma, right? This is where the stigma.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So even while I got certified as a coach in 2018, like right around the time of legalization, I didn't tell the world. I kept it very contained in that circle and with close friends and family and stuff. And I would just hear people talk and I'd be thinking, oh gosh, if you knew, and if I would feel more safe talking to you. So it's that dilemma, right? And that is what ultimately led to crafting a book, because I thought, I have all of this information. I have this lived experience. I have these other women in my life who I know have common experiences, you being one of them. And we need to share more. We need to get our stories out. We need to let the world know that we are completely high functioning women. You know, we're doing tremendous things in this life and in this world. And we are supported by this plant, and it's okay.
Mhm.
It's okay. And the more women know that it's okay and that it's safe, and it's a plant. It's just
Totally.
been misrepresented for such a long time. I mean, not even really a long time,
No,
but
no. Yeah, just
not
100.
even, yeah.
Yeah. And it was
Yeah.
really fun as I was reading. I had little tags here because as I was reading it and I was reading the stories, there's lots of stories shared by women. And I was reading a story, I'm like, hey, that sounds like me. Hey, wait, that is me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was very, very cool to come across that.
Yes, I thank you for your contribution. Matters so much. You know,
Mhm.
the more sharing that we can do, because it is still viewed as alternative or fringe or taboo, you know.
Yes, yeah. And yeah, the more we talk about it, the more we share our stories, the more you realize that, oh, you also consume cannabis?
We're
Then
going to
it,
be best friends.
yeah, yeah. And especially coming out when I came out too and started to talk about it, that I was consuming cannabis, I already had established relationships with people. And so how, if I've been friends with them for 10 years or whatever, and all of a sudden I share I've been consuming cannabis for the last 10 years, and they're like, oh, it kind of also helps to remove some of the stigma because we were friends without you knowing, and now can you still be friends with you
Right.
knowing this has
Yeah.
been part of me this whole time? And
Yeah.
yeah, I was fully functioning. Mhm. Yeah.
It's so interesting how that can make people just freeze for a moment, right?
Mhm.
Oh, really? What? I never
Mhm.
would have guessed. How did that work? How did you slip that past me? How did you?
Yeah.
It doesn't take much effort. Like it doesn't change you. You
Mhm.
know, it does, but it doesn't.
You're still you, but you have maybe less pain and you're sleeping a little bit more, and
Yeah.
maybe your stress is a little bit less. And yeah,
It's you, but
yeah,
enhanced.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And one of the other cool things I've been seeing a lot and hearing a lot in families is that it's the grandma who's bringing the medicine in. And yeah, it's the kids that are going, grandma smokes pot. I
I
just
love
like,
those stories.
yeah, yeah,
I
and
think
it's
they're
really neat to be able to have, yes, our older women going, hey, I want this too, and I want to share it with my family. So this is
Mhm.
the prime age. Your book really addresses the prime age of when we're ready to start making changes in our health and wellness and realizing our bodies aren't going to be with us forever, and they're starting to kind of slow down a bit. And
Yeah. Well, and to have options, right? And not feel that you must just rely completely on your doctor. There's like, when I told my doctor that I was seeing a naturopath, he looked at me sideways. And I just knew right there, he's just got, he's got his school of thought.
Yeah.
And it's just different. So rather than try and reconcile the two and have them, happily coexist in each other's worlds, I just didn't really talk about it. I just thought, this is my decision, and I trust her guidance, and I trust yours as well. But we can have more. Yeah. And then to pursue something on your own and study, and I think there's a fear around cannabis that it connects to a loss of control. People associate it like with alcohol, right? As a recreational substance, and that you'll lose control. Well, if you engage with it in a mindless manner, and you don't know what you're doing, or you don't take appropriate measures so that you do have a positive experience, then you might end up in a place where you feel out of control. And that doesn't feel good. But we know too, having studied the plant, that when you do reach that out of control place, if you're uncomfortable there are ways to come back from that. You're not going to be stuck there. Like people who drink too much, if they drink too much, how do they suddenly moderate that? They can't, can they?
No.
But we have strategies. We have strategies. And
which you shared some in the book. Has been that's a phone call.
Oh, there you are.
Sorry, it was a phone call coming through. So the importance of having good education is really key, and I think your book's a really great place for people to get started. And so I really encourage people to check it out. So where can they go and get it?
Well, there's really only one place right now, and that's Amazon. So it comes in two forms. There's the paperback version and the Kindle version. And I've experienced both now, and I find, and I designed it more to be a paperback because, as you know, there's charts in there, there's recipes in there, and there's places where you would want to highlight or dog ear or tag as you have.
Yeah.
And just flip to, and I find that harder to do in a Kindle. It's not as it has a different sort of engagement factor when it's in a paperback versus a Kindle. So that's my recommendation, is the paperback.
Me too. I like having it in my hands, and being able to mark it up and then refer to it again because it's on my shelf and I can see it. Yeah, it's a good reminder. Yeah.
So Amazon is the only place right now. And I also designed a journal. I don't know if you
yes, I have it too, and I haven't dug into it yet. I have it, but I haven't dug into it. So yes, tell us about the journal.
Yeah, so the journal came to mind as I was putting together the content for Midlife Magic, and I kept thinking, this needs something to accompany it where notes can be taken and journaling can happen and that sort of thing. And I ran it by my coach because I was working with a coach on this, and she was like, just focus on the book, and I was so I shelved it for a little while, and then as I was waiting for the book to be formatted, I went, and I was on a break from work, I went back to the journal idea. And I looked at the book simultaneously and thought, okay, where could I pull pieces from the book and have them kind of expanded upon in a journal? So like I mentioned, there's recipes in the book. In the journal, there's space to house more recipes. So there's space for tracking your dosing, which is explained in the book, how to do that. And then one thing that I really like, I don't know about you, but when I experience cannabis in a place where I want to feel elevated, I get ideas, I get these downloads, and I turn to the nearest piece of paper or journal and I start writing, or I'll turn on my phone and I'll voice record, and I have all these papers everywhere of all these ideas and things. So I thought I need space for that in this journal too, because this medicine will take you to those places.
Yeah.
And so the journal is like, it's a standalone, but at the same time, it's a nice companion. It's a nice accompaniment to the book. So it'll be interesting to see who tries them both together. And
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing. I
experiment.
bought it first. It was available first.
It was, yeah.
Yeah. So I bought it first, but I haven't had a chance to get to it. And then once I got this, then this attracted me more to start with it. But now that you've explained how it companions, I want to go now and dig into it. And that's a really great suggestion to use it for your elevated times, because me too. I have notes everywhere of like, this is what I want to do in my life,
Yes.
or whatever download came during that session. And I can be brushing my teeth in the middle of brushing my teeth, and I'm just like, hurry up so I can write down this really good idea.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. And then there's these brilliant genius downloads all over the place, right? So let's house them all in one place. So the next time I create a journal, I think I might have more pages for that, because it's a collection of various things. It's got like the glossary of key terms of cannabinoids and terpenes. So that's in the journal. So there's a reference section there, as well as, the spaces for your own journeys and your own experiences, and even prompts, journal prompts, like what are some of your stressors right now? What are some things you could delegate to other people, so that people can start doing that self-examination and do some recording, journaling about that, and thinking. And even with the support of cannabis, if you consume a little bit and then you read a journal prompt like that, think, this, you can work out all those things. Solve the problems of the world.
Right. That's awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you, Kim, so much for bringing that all together. And I'm really glad I got to hear how the books came together, and how you navigated this challenging time in your life. So if people are interested to hear more about you as an author or connect with you, how can they do that?
So I'm on pretty much all the social medias, I think. I also have a website that's live. It's still, I still work out little tweaks here and there, but it's called kimsarsonscoaching.com. So my name, Kim Sarsons Coaching, all one word.com. And in my Instagram, which is Kim S Coach, S spelled ESS, so KIMESS Coach. There's a link tree in there, how there's the link tree with all of the links to all of the other things. So that might be easier. And Facebook, but I got a warning from Facebook. As I posted a picture of some nice bud, and they didn't like it very much.
No.
My very first warning. So I don't know. Facebook and cannabis, if they can be friends, it doesn't seem like they can. But TikTok, I'm on TikTok also, but I play around with face yoga a little bit in TikTok. And other things that I'm interested in, like NFTs and this whole crypto thing.
Oh, yeah. We always have irons in the fire, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. But I would say my main is Instagram and my website, Kim S Coach and Kim Sarsons Coaching.
Okay, perfect. I will write them down too and put them in whatever comments or descriptions attached to this. I don't know yet. So we'll figure that out.
Thanks for asking.
Yeah. Great. Well, thank you so much. And I'm so glad I got the book, and I encourage everybody to go get yours. And enjoy.
Please do.
Yes. All right.
Take care.
Thank you, Kim. Bye-bye.
Bye.